Have you ever wondered why people behave the way they do? Why do some people thrive under pressure while others crumble? What makes us form relationships? And why do we sometimes fail to help others in need? The answers to these questions lie in the fascinating world of psychology. Over the years, psychologists have developed powerful theories that explain how we think, feel, and act. These ideas have shaped everything from education to mental health to how we interact with the world around us. In this video, we'll take you through 15 of the most influential psychology theories that will change the way you understand yourself and others. From how we learn to why we behave the way we do, these theories offer incredible insights into the human mind. Let's dive in. Pavlov's classical conditioning. We've all heard about Pavlov's famous dogs, but did you know this experiment gave rise to one of the most important theories in psychology? Classical conditioning explains how we learn through association. Pavlov found that dogs could be trained to associate a neutral stimulus, a bell, with something meaningful, food. Over time, they would salivate just from hearing the bell, even when no food was present. This theory helps us understand how our environment can shape behavior and how we learn new responses based on associations. Skinner's operant conditioning. Building on Pavlov's work, B.F. Skinner introduced the idea of operant conditioning, which focuses on how rewards and punishments influence behavior. According to Skinner, behaviors followed by positive consequences are more likely to be repeated, while those followed by negative consequences are less likely to occur. Whether you're training a dog or trying to improve your own habits, operant conditioning plays a big role in shaping how we act. Freud's psychoanalytic theory. Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory was one of the earliest and most influential approaches to understanding the human mind. Freud believed that much of our behavior is driven by unconscious desires and conflicts, especially those related to childhood experiences. According to Freud, the mind is divided into three parts: the id, our primal desires, the ego, the rational self, and the superego, our moral compass. Though controversial, Freud's ideas still influence how we think about personality and mental health today. Bandura's social learning theory. Ever notice how kids learn by watching others? That's exactly what Albert Bandura focused on in his social learning theory. He argued that we don't just learn through direct experience, but also by observing the behavior of others. Bandura's famous Bobo doll experiment showed that children could learn aggression by watching adults behave aggressively. His theory emphasizes the importance of role models and how we can learn new behaviors simply by observing them in others. Erikson's stages of psychosocial development. Erik Erikson expanded on Freud's ideas, but with a focus on social and cultural factors. He proposed that we go through 8 stages of psychosocial development throughout our lives, from infancy to old age. Each stage presents a key conflict or challenge, like trust versus mistrust in infancy or identity versus role confusion in adolescence. How we navigate these challenges shapes our sense of self and our relationships with others. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What drives us to pursue our goals? According to Abraham Maslow, human motivation is driven by a hierarchy of needs. At the bottom of this hierarchy are basic needs like food and safety, while at the top is self-actualization, the desire to reach our full potential. Maslow believed that only once our lower-level needs are met can we focus on achieving personal growth and fulfillment. Cognitive dissonance theory. Have you ever felt uncomfortable when your actions don't match your beliefs? That's cognitive dissonance, a theory developed by Leon Festinger. He argued that when people experience a conflict between their beliefs and actions, they feel mental discomfort and are motivated to resolve that tension. For example, if you know smoking is bad for your health but continue to smoke, you might try to justify the habit by downplaying the risks. Understanding cognitive dissonance helps explain why people sometimes rationalize or change their beliefs to avoid internal conflict. The placebo effect. The placebo effect is a fascinating phenomenon where people experience real improvements in their health simply because they believe they are receiving treatment, even if the treatment is inactive, like a sugar pill. This theory shows the incredible power of the mind in influencing our physical and mental well-being. It's a reminder that sometimes our beliefs can have a direct impact on our reality. The attachment theory. John Bowlby developed attachment theory to explain how early relationships with caregivers influence our emotional development. According to Bowlby, the bond formed between infants and their primary caregiver is critical for emotional security. Children who experience secure attachment are more likely to develop healthy relationships later in life, while those with insecure attachment may struggle with trust and intimacy. This theory has been hugely influential in understanding child development and relationships. Piaget's stages of cognitive development. How do children's thinking and reasoning skills develop over time? That's what Jean Piaget explored in his theory of cognitive development. Piaget proposed that children go through 4 stages of development, from the sensoromotor stage in infancy to the formal operational stage in adolescence. Each stage represents a different level of cognitive ability, helping us understand how children perceive and interact with the world at different ages. The fundamental attribution error. Have you ever judged someone harshly without knowing their full story? That's likely due to the fundamental attribution error, a concept in social psychology. This theory suggests that we tend to overestimate the influence of personal traits and underestimate the impact of situational factors when explaining other people's behavior. For example, if someone cuts you off in traffic, you might assume they're rude, but in reality, they could be rushing to an emergency. Understanding this bias helps us become more empathetic and less judgmental. The bystander effect. Why do people sometimes fail to help in emergencies? The bystander effect explains that when others are present, we're less likely to intervene because we assume someone else will. This theory was famously illustrated in the case of Kitty Genovese, whose murder in 1964 led to widespread interest in why so many witnesses failed to act. Knowing about the bystander effect can help us be more proactive in situations where help is needed. The Flynn effect. Did you know that average IQ scores have been rising over the past century? This phenomenon is known as the Flynn effect, named after psychologist James Flynn. The reasons for this increase are still debated, but some theories suggest that improvements in education, nutrition, and access to information have contributed to the rise in intelligence. The Flynn effect challenges our understanding of intelligence and highlights the impact of environment on cognitive abilities. The halo effect. Have you ever formed a positive impression of someone based on one good quality, like their appearance or charm? This is called the halo effect, a cognitive bias where our overall impression of a person influences how we feel and think about their other traits. For example, if someone is physically attractive, we might also assume they are kind or intelligent, even if we don't have evidence for those traits. The halo effect shows how our judgments can be easily influenced by superficial factors. The self-fulfilling prophecy. The self-fulfilling prophecy is a powerful concept that explains how our expectations can influence reality. According to this theory, if you believe something will happen, your behavior can actually help bring it about. For instance, if a teacher expects a student to succeed, they may give the student more attention and support, which in turn helps the student perform better. This theory highlights the impact of expectations on behavior and outcomes. From classical conditioning to the self-fulfilling prophecy, these 15 psychology theories provide incredible insights into why we think, feel, and act the way we do. Whether it's understanding how we learn, how we relate to others, or how our beliefs shape our reality, these theories have changed the way we see the world. By learning more about these psychological principles, you can better understand yourself, your relationships, and the world around you.